Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel, and we got a lot to unpack from Our Kind of People season 1 episode number 2, My Mother, Myself. Man, you talking about family in all its forms being complex and the ties that bind us. I mean, we learned a lot on how a tangled web we weave from last night's episode as even more secrets spilled out and many layers were added to many of the characters. Miss Eve isn't who we thought, and it seems everyone is keeping things from Angela, including Piggy. But before we jump into this, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, hit the like button if you like the video and the content, and also drop a comment down below. So, that hour threw a ton of stuff at us. I mean, threads to more convoluted, twisted plots were dangled in front of us from left to right to center. Now, despite all of the confidence a girl can muster, Angela is the one who is operating in the dark and at a disadvantage, especially everywhere she looked. Now, you expect the Franklins to keep things from her, but Piggy, now that was a shock. Angela did get a lead when she expertly worked her way into, speaking to Leah's mother alone. Now, the woman did appear that she was suffering from, I don't know, maybe some form of dementia. And she actually thought Angela was Leah. Now, it was, I guess, the only way for Angela to manage to get whatever information she could about her mother, nearly doggone yanking the woman's hair out in the interim of it all. So, another thing, Eve gave Angela up, from what we found out, for at least 6 months. Now, a woman named Deborah bought her for $50,000. Now, we definitely didn't know the story behind how that came to be. But, I mean, Angela is on the quest to honor her mom, and she's learning that she didn't know the woman herself. Now, we did see that Teddy did mention that his relationship with Eve was an affair. And in some ways, it kind of seemed like there was more to the story, and he did something horrible to her. Piggy, she knows so much more than she's letting on. And I actually think that she has some form of history with Teddy herself that she haven't even spoken about. Now, Eve is in the driving force behind Angela showing up at Oak Bluffs, and she wants to honor her mom, but it's still unclear what Eve expected Angela to do. I mean, I can't figure it out. Now, my question is, did she want Angela to shake things up and reveal the truth? It seems like there's more to this than just starting a successful hair care line. I mean, in some ways, it sounded like Eve liked her time in Oak Bluffs, even though she was a maid to the elite families. But there's obviously so many pieces to this story that we need to learn. I mean, seriously. I mean, she seemed to befriend the people there. She had a history with others. And it's apparent that someone probably set her up with that drug charge scandal that rocked the town. Now, I'm wondering, did Teddy ever love Eve? What happened that put Eve in such a dark place that she gave up Angela after she was born? I mean, did Piggy really use all the money up? Because remember, Piggy used that money from what she says. And what was the what was the issue that cost that much? And my question also is, how did Eve get Angela back? So there was also this hidden room that Angela's mom left her. And, obviously there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle in this room. Now, everything surrounding Eve, it seems like it's this mystery. And, I mean, to me and probably to you guys, much like Angela, we still in the dark. Now, everyone keeps mentioning that Eve was some type of, she shook things up around the town, like she was a person that always caused disruption. and that Angela is the splitting image of her, they were saying, but we have no idea what that means. Now, interestingly, many other people know who Angela is, and it turns out Leah is aware that Angela is her sister after all, but the fact doesn't change how she is regarding Angela. Now, she do remember the day when she accompanied her father to Boston, that trip that they took and the little girl that they left behind. She also know that Teddy reacted to leaving that little girl, Angela, behind. And Teddy knows that Angela is his daughter and that she's in town. Now, both of them fear what will happen if Angela kind of uncover these truths, but it makes you wonder how they don't get ahead of things by playing nice. Seriously, you get more bees with honey and, all that good stuff. Angela, of course, didn't get to confront Teddy like she wanted to at that party. I guess she kind of lost her nerves, got a little bit of an anxiety when the moment came, and we saw her run off to the beach and she got really sick. Now, what I can't wait for is the moment when they actually get to talk to each other and speak to each other. Now, I will say Angela is a force, but Teddy can be kind of intimidating. And the more we learn about the Franklin family, the more you kind of root for Angela to get a piece of what she deserves, or what she thinks she deserves. Now, she's trying to kind of pave a way for herself, and she's putting in the work to do this. But, there's a birthright here, regardless. Now, you would think it would be much easier to cut Angela and, just give her a cut in than fight and ostracize or kind of isolate her, in this process, especially with all these petty attempts that they have to kind of keep her out. But the sad thing is Angela and Leah could actually be good friends and sisters if they allow it. Now, their moment of commiseration and mothers was so special. I thought that was cool, especially when her daughter, had this thing where, she was trying to come out and the mom, wasn't trying to hear it. But they kind of bonded. Leah and Angela kind of bonded for the moment. Honestly, they could be genuine sisters if they set their differences aside. And, something tells me that Leah has never had an authentic friend in her life. However, on the contrary, it seems like Angela is is real. And she could be everything Leah could dream of in an ally. And combined, they could actually unite against Teddy and kind of take him down. The potential for these ladies as a combined force is teased, but it's definitely something to look forward to. That's a delicious thought. But Leah is so darn determined to go at everything by herself. And, it's kind of crazy that she thought she had a handle on Teddy and, successfully pushed him out of the company. How does she think a man as ruthless, as conniving, and as power-driven as Teddy was just going to roll over and accept it? It was hilarious when he crashed her Forbes photo shoot. And you already know they'll use a photo of them together for the cover, and made his grand announcement at the ceremony that was honoring her. He also undermined and went behind her achievements as, this successful businesswoman by taking the credit, too, for mentoring and teaching her everything. I will say, though, that Leah was definitely too premature in her celebratory victory, because even Raymond will pay for this one. The marriage between these two is an odd one. You can sense there's tension there. But I'm telling you, holy hotness, their chemistry was off the charts during their sexy kind of celebratory scene together. And hey, any good reason to see Morris Chestnut shirtless is definitely a gift to the audience. Now, speaking of Raymond doesn't seem as enamored with his wife as you would expect. He wants to get from up underneath the Franklins. And the reveal that Teddy used Raymond's company as a shell company and Raymond would go down if Leah goes against her father suited Teddy and his ways. I mean, Raymond's company is under Teddy's control, and if it's not bad enough that he has to deal with Teddy, his partner and brother, Jack seems more of a liability than anything else. Now, Raymond and Jack's relationship is a very interesting and intriguing one. And the connection between the families must definitely go way back over a century if they're speaking about their great grandfathers forging this bond that they supposedly have. They consider themselves brothers, but Jack is a colossal screw up who has gotten them, in all sorts of trouble and binds because of all the risks that he was taking. And you guys remember that conversation they had when they were on the boat together? Jack was like, I consider you my brother, right? We grew up together in and out of each other's homes. We played ball together. We would always change classes, blah, 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 blah. You want to blow all that up? Did you forget? And Raymond was like, oh, no, I remember. You never have taken life seriously. I remember me busting my butt while your father let you use the corporate credit card like your personal bank account. And every time you messed up, which was a lot, you never had to suffer any consequences. And he talking about maybe I'm just a lucky guy. Yeah, okay. You were a privileged white kid raised in America. Meanwhile, I had to do everything near perfect to survive. Yeah, we was raised together, but we definitely are not the same. They definitely touched the thing on white privilege in that particular scene. I find that very interesting. Now, this was Raymond's moment of reminding Jack that even with their similar wealth, that they live in two different Americas, where Jack white maleness afforded him luxuries and privileges well beyond the luck, was a great and illuminating one. It kind of put their relationship into perspective on so many levels, and it also meant that Jack kissing Leah by the end of the episode wasn't that surprising. Now, you can tell this is something like a soap opera, but it's definitely a juicy scandal. Leah is someone who has all the pressures in the world of upholding this image, being in this black elite Oak Bluffs community with a heck of a lot of responsibility. I imagine, that comes with marrying, that type of man. Marriages are probably more like business deals than anything. But do you think Jack generally holds a torch for Leah, or was he getting back at Raymond? Because I don't know. That was kind of weird. That kiss looked unexpected to me. But then some folks I saw in the comments was like, oh, yeah, they've been trying to get their freaky sneaky on behind Raymond's back. I don't know. We'll have to keep watching. Other thing is this, the start of something, or is there more to the story? Because Leah getting involved with Jack would definitely not be ideal for the Franklins or their image if Teddy had anything to say about it. And if Teddy finds out about a potential affair, he definitely going to try to use that probably to destroy his daughter, unfortunately. But it would be interesting if Leah didn't get to be with the man she loved and she inflicted a similar fate upon Lauren. Now, let's talk about Lauren, because Leah's seen some pictures of her and the other young lady and talking about how she was looking at her. And Lauren was like, yeah, because I love her. Yeah, because I do. You told me that you love me no matter what. Well, here I am. And Leah's response was, of course I love you, but I can't support this. Now, Lauren is not doing well since that whole accident that, Taylor had. And instead of expressing genuine concern, Leah and her mother-in-law are more concerned about her behavior and how it could affect their reputation. Now, Lauren all but told her mother flat out that she was gay, and Leah didn't even know how to react to it in what appropriate manner. Now, it must definitely kill Lauren to know that her mother is having an affair while she can't love Taylor out loud. But the shock of her mother and Jack kissing put on the back burner when the cops showed up to arrest her for Taylor's attempted murder. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. The cops were dead wrong for making a public arrest in front of the paparazzi, according to them. Now, the gossip, however, is going to be tremendous, though. Now, Leah has to rely on her father to do what he does to get Lauren out of trouble. But did Lauren really push Taylor overboard as Taylor had claimed? Or is Taylor, this jilted lover that's having a little bit of retaliation? Now, Teddy did say he can fix things for her, but that's going to come at a cost. So there are other secrets. Tyrique's father took a bullet for Teddy as his head of security. Now, Teddy has looked after Tyrique throughout his entire life as a result. And that's where that conversation came in, where Tyrique said, when I lost my pops, I used to do this thing to forgive him for dying on me. And Angela was like, what? And Tyrique was like, yeah, he talked to me every time I floated. And that's what you need to do. You need to learn how to float. And I thought that was cool because that led to that whole pool scene that they had, which I thought was extremely nice. I enjoyed that. But everything with Teddy is definitely shady at this point. So there has to be more to even that story too. Now, Angela isn't the only one who would be learning new things about her family. I mean, Tyrique probably will too, finding out that Tyrique's father was also the one, also the help is another thing that kind of bonds them. Now, their chemistry, however, is off the chart, meaning Tyrique and Angela. Their relationship definitely happened pretty quickly because they went from episode 1 to episode 2 and they were kicking it. But you can't complain when both of them look like that and they're good together, right? And I mean, Tyrique is such a genuine, it seems like he's such a good soul. He seems like he's invested in helping Angela with Eve's crown and getting the business off the ground. So I'm liking, those two together. And the other thing, he jumped into the contract work with no questions asked. And now that we know a little bit about his father, it kind of makes sense that he is a more down-to-earth elite member of the community who doesn't mind, getting his hands dirty. He had such a soothing and very warm voice when he encouraged Angela to breathe and float. I actually think they can make magic together, but it's, it's a little early right now. So I don't want to jump ahead of myself. So I thought it was a great episode. Let me know what you think. I got some questions for you guys. Angela going through Raymond for the incubator program, definitely was her best bet. But do you think that maybe something might even end up with them two later down the road? What does Piggy know about Teddy? Because remember that scene that we saw where he showed up at the house wanting to talk to her. What's their story? What's their history? I'm curious about that. Piggy is funny, but she been having a lot of secrets. And I thought the whole thing with the women reciting Maya Angelou while, they scattered Eve's ashes, that was a beautiful scene. And who's in that photo that Piggy was burning before Teddy walked in the kitchen? I want to know who that was. And then, of course, we have to give credit where credit is due. Well, we got to see a shirtless Morris Chestnut and Lance Gross in the same episode. So I think it was a pretty good episode. So what bombshell shocked you the most? Are you surprised that Leah knows who Angela really is already? And what are your theories? What are your predictions? Drop them in the comments down below. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm enjoying sharing the content with you. Let me know your thoughts. And until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you soon.